Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Put in a lot of work on the book today, made some good progress. While I was working on it, I noticed comments were rolling in asking for me to take a look at this title fight this weekend in the world of boxing. And I really wish that the number one request was something other than sports, but this is where the minds of people are at. People are fixated on sports, and my hope is that if people can wake up to how rigged sports are, they can wake up to other things that are more important in this world. So, with that said, what I want to do in this video is teach more clearly how to do this decoding work and predicting the outcomes of scripted sports in advance. Anyone can do this work. Please listen carefully to what I show. If you apply these skills, you can reach the same outcomes I do. I have very little knowledge about the sport of boxing. I don't follow it at all, but I recognize how rigging works, and I've learned how the world of professional sports is rigged. So even having no knowledge, truly no knowledge about either of these fighters, I can see the way the script seems to be written. It shows me that Shawn Porter will be upsetting Keith Thurman for this title fight if I'm reading it correctly. And in the end, I'll let you know where I could be reading it backwards. Sometimes I do that, but the majority of the evidence lines up very nicely for Shawn Porter. We'll cover all of these things. I'm going to show you websites that you can use to help you with this research. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this. So where you always want to begin is with the date of the event. If it's a series, sometimes that makes things a little bit more difficult, but for championships that are just on a certain date, you always want to begin with that date. This fight's June 25th, 2016. You want to get the date numerology for the date of significance. There's 4 methods you want to use. Once you have these numbers, you'll use them to pair with the contestants, the key players, the teams, the coaches. In boxing, it's more simple because there's fighters and trainers. And I'm not going to do the trainer in this video. Once you learn the skill, you can go and decode the trainer and other relevant information such as their past fights. These are other places clues can be left. I made this post that I'm going to show you how I made in about 10 minutes. I'm proficient at this. When I'm not having to explain it, I can decode it all very quickly, look at it, and see the way the script is written. So this work that we're decoding, it took me about 10 minutes to do. When I first started this work 3 years ago, it probably would have took me 45 minutes to do. But with time and practice, I've become a lot more efficient, and so will you if you apply the skills. So we're beginning with the date. These are the 4 numerology methods you want to use. The first one, you add the date whole. The day plus the month plus the year in 2 parts. So 6 plus 25 for June 25th plus 18 for 2016, which sums to 67. We're going to decode the fighter's name later. We will find out that Shawn Porter equals 67, just like the date of the fight. That's one thing that lines up in his favor. The next method, you add the day plus the month, but you break down the year digit for digit. Look on the screen how that's different. This is how you do the math for the second method. I didn't notice anything significant about that number in regards to this fight. Third method, you just make everything a single digit number and add it up. So 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6, 22. 79 is the 22nd prime number. This fight happens to be in Brooklyn, New York. A venue with 79 Gematria. The man who's the favorite comes in with 22 knockouts, undefeated at 26-0, which we'll talk more about. It's also a date with 47 numerology, a special number to the Freemasons. Ohio equals 47. Shawn Porter is from Ohio. The state of Ohio just won the NBA Finals, and I think this is going to be another smaller victory for the state. We're going to talk about the parallels between Shawn Porter and LeBron James and what lines up here. So to get the Gematria, this is the date numerology. That's where we begin. The next thing you want to do is you want to break down the venue in Gematria, the fighters' names in Gematria. A way you can do this is online at this calculator. Calculator here called writingthebeast.com. If you search Writing the Beast and then type Gematria calculator in your web search, not here, just type Writing the Beast. Just type it just like this. Writing the Beast Gematria calculator. Put that in whatever your favorite search engine is. It's going to pull this website up. Once you're here, there's a drop-down menu, and you want to use two key methods. The only methods I use on this website are English ordinal and English reduction. And what the difference is this. In English ordinal, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way up to Z is 26. It's the alphabetic order. The letter placement is what the number's worth. That's English ordinal. Z is 26 in this method. English reduction, what you do instead is you reduce each letter to a single digit, then you add up the word. Z is the 26th letter, 2 plus 6 becomes 8. Z equals 8 in English reduction. So, what you want to do is you want to take the fighters' names and you want to do their names in English reduction and simple English gematria. And what I would recommend is also doing their first names and their last names separate to look at all the number combinations, which we'll get to. The point I want to make about this calculator is there's a shortcoming to it. You have to use your head as well. In this reduced gematria, you have options in this. The letter S has a special rule to it. S is the 19th letter. S equals 19. It's the only letter you have to reduce twice to get to a single digit. If you do 1 plus 9 for 19, it becomes 10, still double digit. Then you have to do it 1 plus 0 becomes 1. This calculator always breaks it down to 1 when it adds, but it's also fair to use S as 10. So anytime there's an S in a word, you can add plus 9 more for each S. So Shawn Porter is 58 plus 9 because there's one more S in it. Shawn Porter also equals 67 like the date numerology. Very important. Remember that about the calculator. That's the one shortcoming. So, to tell you why these dates and venues are key and you want to break them down to look for clues, let me go back to the Super Bowl. In October, I said the Broncos would win the Super Bowl based on what was getting coded in news and in sports scores. A lot of people said that pick was crazy because Peyton Manning was washed up. And I said, I know it is crazy. Peyton Manning is washed up, but just watch. The league's rigged. He's going to win. They'll probably make it a defensive battle, a believable story. I predicted a lot more than the Broncos win. Before the playoffs started, I said it would be Broncos over Panthers. I said Von Miller would be the MVP and there'd be a Black Panther tribute. This research is really advanced. It goes a lot deeper, but this is a starting point. If you start with what I share with you here, you will grow. You will come to understand more. You know, it's just like unwinding a ball of yarn. That's what it's been for me ever since I started. Remember, I started with nothing, just an idea, a concept, learning that this information existed, and then applying it and building the knowledge database. So the Super Bowl, this past Super Bowl, it was on a date with 18 numerology. It was Peyton Manning's 18th season. He wears the number 18. I pointed that out. I said, look, it'll be a fitting end for number 18 in his 18th season. Do you remember the first play of the Super Bowl for the Broncos offense? It was a pass from number 18 to number 81, the reflection of 18, for an 18-yard gain. And that really is how scripted these sports are. The last year that the Broncos were in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks, they snapped the ball through the back of the end zone with 12 seconds. Seattle, the 12th man, whole lot of 12s in that game. These games are more scripted than you know. So anyway, the Broncos, they had the date numerology lining up. Levi's Stadium, where the game was, also had the exact same gematria as Denver Broncos. The week before the Super Bowl, the mainstream media did the story where they accidentally painted both end zones with the Denver Broncos, leaving out the Carolina Panthers. All of this stuff is mocking the fans who don't know it's a scripted league. These are scripted sports. Also, what did I show? In past Super Bowls, Super Bowl 24, the 49ers blew out the Denver Broncos when John Elway was young. They won 55-10, the 49ers. This year, the Broncos were 55 years old. So was John Elway. They were playing in the 49ers stadium. They win with 24 points, having lost in Super Bowl 24. And I'll show you in Gematria what's so cool about 24 and San Francisco for 50. 24, I meant to write. 24 equals 50. What do you think San Francisco equals? The host of Super Bowl 50. This coding in the numbers is real. Sports has always been run this way. It's because it's run by Masons and Zionist Jews who use this language of numbers in words as a religious practice. And also with the NBA Finals, I just showed how LeBron James won on the real King James's birthday, something I talked about when they were down 3-1 when I said don't count them out. I still think they're coming back. LeBron at age 31, basketball equals 31, coming back from down 3-1. Just too much lined up. And then sure enough, LeBron James, known as King James, wins on the real King James's birthday. Had you looked at what the Game 7 date would have been at the NBA Finals, that would have been a major clue about the series in advance. So, more clues. Decode the venue. Brooklyn, New York, 79, the 22nd prime. It's a date with 22 numerology. The favorite comes in with 22 knockouts. Brooklyn, New York also sums to 223. These values taken straight from the calculator. 223 is a special number. Masonic equals 223. The Synagogue of Satan equals 223. The Star Spangled Banner, special number. The other calculator I want to show you right now is Gematrix.org. This website does different calculations. It doesn't have options. You just type in words, and it puts it out in 3 formats. This bottom format is the same as English Ordinal at this website. Watch, English Ordinal here. Masonic is 74. Just like Gematria, what we're doing. Just like English. Just like Jewish. There's a reason this nation's birthday is July 4th. There's a reason I predicted Muhammad Ali would die at age 74. This is a very special number, coded in a big way by this Masonic gang. So, at this calculator, you can see that Masonic has all of these values. This calculator does not do Pythagorean Gematria, though. Masonic sums to 29, and with the S exception, 38. So with this 29 in mind, I want to show you something. Let's go back and look at the details about the fighters. The favorite Thurman is coming in 26-0, undefeated. Last boxing July 11th, 2015. He comes in with 22 knockouts. We talked about how 22 was significant in the fight. The challenger, Shawn Porter, he comes in with 26 wins as well. 1 loss, 1 draw. This will be Thurman's 27th fight. This will be Porter's 29th fight, and his 29th birthday is approaching. I want to show you something about 29. He's also from Ohio. He's from Akron, Ohio, like LeBron James, also like Steph Curry. In regards to the Masonic connection to 29, Ohio also sums to 29, as well as 47. The fight's on a date with 47 numerology. And we're going to show how the fight comes in a very specific amount of days until his birthday, his 29th birthday. This will be his 29th fight. These are part of the reasons things line up for Shawn Porter. When you start to see things stack like this, you start to see who the favorite is. But we still have to go over it all. I have an advantage because I already finished this post. I have to do all the work before I start to make the assessment. So we're still decoding, but I'm also explaining as we go why this is significant. Hopefully you're following. In the gambling, the odds, you want to look at that. Oftentimes there are clues in the odds that show you who will win. Thurman, 4-9. Porter, 7-4. We just talked about how Masonic equals 74, the venue 223. Masonic also equals 29. This will be his 29th fight, coming just before his 29th birthday. A lot lines up for Porter. That said, if this was a different situation, 74, it also corresponds with sacrifice. Jesus and cross both equal 74. Muhammad equals 74. I predicted Muhammad Ali would die at 74. So sometimes the way these numbers read, if you know what they represent, sometimes they can be a negative. But overall in the theming here, I think 74 ties in more as a Masonic tribute and will be favorable for Porter by the end of this fight. With regards to both men having 26 wins, KO for knockout has Gematria of 26. In Pythagorean Gematria, K is the 11th letter, which breaks down to 1 + 1 = 2. O is the 15th letter, 1 + 5 breaks down to 6. It breaks down to 2-6, a lot like 26. Both men coming in with 26 wins. So, when I do Gematria, I don't typically use the calculator. I like to write it out. To me, it's a good practice. I've gotten very efficient at doing it, so it doesn't take me a lot of time. If this is too much for you, feel free to use the calculator. Just remember to do those S exceptions. The name Keith Thurman in Gematria, the small way, English reduction, 68. Keith Thurman Jr., the big way, 176. The birth numerology, nothing stands out too much in line with the fight. He has a 33 birth numerology. His last fight that he won was on a date with 33 numerology. We'll talk more about why that fight's significant. I always measure from the date of the fight to the upcoming birthday to see if there's a span of dates that's significant. And I measure from the last birthday up to the fight. His birthday comes 151 days after this fight. 151 is the 36th prime. 36 has been a big number in 2016. Remember how we had 2 parts of a year, 20 plus 16? 20 plus 16 equals 36. If you add every number up to 36, it sums to 666. Special number. There's a reason there's 36 numbered spaces on the roulette wheel. But overall, I don't see how that's favorable for him in this fight. I just acknowledge it. From his birthday to June 25th, from his last birthday to the date of the fight, is a span of 216 days. This is interesting because 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. You know, this number had a connection to 36. 216 has a connection to 666. Cleveland just won the NBA Finals, home of the 216 area code. They scored 216 combined points in their final game, Game 6 in Cleveland, 115 to 101. Here's where the dots start to click in the decoding. You also want to measure from their last fight up to their current fight. Oftentimes a major clue is here. Here's where it really pops. His last fight was July 11th, 2015. From that fight to June 25th is a span of 351 days. If you add every single number up to 26, 1 through 26, remember both men come in with 26 wins. If you add every number up to 26, it sums to 351. He's 26-0. He hasn't fought in 351 days. His first name is Keith. Keith in Gematria sums to 26 and 53. He became 26-0 July 11th, 2015, a date with 53 numerology. 26-0 on this date, numbers corresponding with his first name. So his record is perfect right now. And there's a possibility it remains perfect. You could say, well, LeBron just scored 27 becoming the champion. Is he going to become 27-0? This guy with the 216 connection? Is he going to defeat the guy from Akron, Ohio? I will show you why I think not. I think it's all perfect for him to be beat, and there's a reason he's fighting Shawn Porter at this time. I think Shawn Porter, this is his time to become the champion. Both of these men will have 26 wins and 1 loss should he win. So Shawn Porter is born October 27th, 1987, 28. His 29th birthday is approaching, like Ohio, like Masonic. 7-4 odds in the 223 location. Shawn Porter in Gematria sums to 58 and 67. Again, 67, big number on the fight. It's at the Barclays Center. Shawn, the way he spells it in Gematria, Shawn Porter, sums to 65 just like Barclays Center. Shawn Barclays Center. And you know, on the calculator, you can find these things out quick. Remember, spelling's crucial. You got to make sure you spell right. Barclays Center has 1 S in it, so you can add 9 more. Barclays Center also 65, just like Shawn. His birthday, October 27th, 1987, a date with the numerology with the same methods we did above. That's a date with 124. From June 25th to October 27th, his birthday, his 29th birthday, is 124 days. It seems that this is lined up very well for him by the numbers. And it seems like a fitting tribute for him to become the champion by. Again, he's born in Akron, Ohio, just like LeBron. The fight's on a date with 47 numerology like Ohio. Brooklyn, New York, 223, 7-4 odds. We just saw Muhammad Ali pass at 74. Muhammad Ali once promoted by Don King. These numbers are very important to the gang. Remember, Muhammad Ali, named after the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad died at age 63. Muhammad Ali died June 3rd, 6'3", 63 days before the start of the Summer Games. Muhammad Ali equals 96. He opened the Atlanta 96 games. If you haven't seen my work on Muhammad Ali, that's what's more important than these sports predictions, is understanding the real sickness that's going on in this world. Muhammad Ali, the small way, equals 42. He got Parkinson's at age 42. He was born in 42. 42, a number stamped on black men negatively all throughout history. So again, writingthebeast.com, Gematria calculator, Gematrix.org, another helpful calculator. The other thing you need is the date duration calculator. Type date duration, calculate duration between two dates. Any phrase like this, it will pop up this website. This website's real simple. You know, we just talked about how his birthday is 124 days after the fight. Just type it in just like this. It'll give you the numbers. If you want to find the full span, punch that button. It'll add one more date, because the difference is, instead of saying, you know, from June 25th to October 27th is 124 days later, but if you count the beginning date as well, it's a span of 125 days. And I'm glad we just did that, because I think I overlooked something here. See if I remember this right off the top of my head. Akron, Ohio has Gematria of 106 like prophecy. Well, anyway, those numbers were big for the Cleveland Cavs as well as Muhammad Ali. Cleveland broke the streak after 52 years. Muhammad Ali was Muhammad Ali for 52 years. He changed his name at age 22. Ali 22. Muhammad Ali 96, 74 more. A boxing ring 96 feet around. Again, it's the Freemasons running the show. And they've coded their numbers over their fighters all throughout history. Earlier this year, I was looking, people asked me to look at Triple G's fight, and I said, oh yeah, everything lines up for this guy. You can pencil him in as a guaranteed win. I was a lot more confident about this fight than the one I just gave you a prediction on. Everything lined up for Triple G. You know, I could make some arguments for the champion over here, but to me, the way all this lines up, it favors Porter. So if I was going to bet, I'd put my money on Porter. That said, the Triple G one, I was more confident about, because just everything lined up for him. And just to take you back in time, I'll show you what it was for the Triple G fight. It was October 17th, 2015, a date with 42 numerology. Triple G equals 42. His last name is Golovkin. Think about boxing glove, Golovkin. I'm telling you, these people make Manchurian athletes. They create their names for specific reasons. 42, 42, 42. Date of the fight was 42. You know, G, the symbol of the Freemasons, has a connection to 42 in English Gematria. G's the seventh letter times 6. He came in 33-0, the Freemason number of obsession. His opponent had a life number of 33. Even his trainer, Abel Sanchez, Gematria 42 and 96. I was pointing out how that's just like Muhammad Ali, big numbers in boxing. But this is really how the world of sports is. You know, it's all scripted this way. It's always this way. Being aware of this, you can still make your predictions wrong if you read your facts backwards or overlook something crucial. Like I said, if you want to take this to the next level, do the trainers' names as well. Do their birthdays. Do the same measurements. You might find some key synchronicities there as well. In the world of sports scripting, they'll also throw, you know, curveballs at you like this. The night before the NBA Finals, the UFC, which also scripts their fights these same ways. You know, see my work on Conor McGregor's 13-second fight? If you write out 13, it sums to 99. I'll just show you this. If you write out 13, it sums to 99. And the name Jose, as in Jose Aldo, who got knocked out in 13 seconds, Jose equals 13. And do you know what Jose Aldo's birthday is? Think about what Jose Aldo's birthday might be in light of what I just showed you. connects to 13. Check this out. There's a reason this guy went down in the scripted UFC fight to Conor McGregor in 13 seconds. Jose Aldo's born on 9/9, a lot like 99. When you write out 13, it sums to 99. But anyway, the night before the NBA Finals, Game 7, UFC, big fight was Stephen Thompson versus Rory the Red King McDonald. His nickname is the Red King. Think about this name. The stars of the Golden State are Steph Curry, who was born in the same Akron, Ohio hospital as LeBron, and Klay Thompson. You know, Stephen spells his name just like Stephen. Stephen Thompson versus Rory the Red King McDonald, LeBron James the King. Well, this fight happened, and a lot of people who followed my blog, they thought that LeBron was going to go down in Game 7, even though I was predicting he was going to win, because the Red King went down to Stephen Thompson. Here's what some more interesting synchronicities between Stephen Thompson and the Warriors, who had the star players Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. Wonder Boy is his nickname. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has the same gematria as Warriors. The same gematria as Revelation. Revelation is where the city name Philadelphia comes from, the original capital. The Warriors originally from Philadelphia. Warriors originally from Philadelphia won the first NBA championship in 47 over the Chicago Stags. This year the Warriors, Chicago, all these synchronicities I talked about all season. He was 33 years old. And then the other fighter, Rory Red King McDonald. And Rory the Red King went down. Interesting that the fight came 35 days before his birthday. King James equals 35. So anyway, this really is how the world of sports is scripted. Sometimes it can get a little bit confusing because of stories like that. A bunch of people on my blog who follow this work, who've been following me for a year, they got tripped up by that story. They thought that was foreshadowing that LeBron would lose the next day. You know, I need to decode it further to see what the snag was, what the trick was. But I just want you guys to be aware of all of these things. You know, this is knowledge that can be useful, but sometimes it can also lead you astray. That's the warning. However, if you look at my track record, all the things I predicted way in advance, you know, the positives outweigh the negatives. No system's perfect. This system, there's still a lot to learn about. The reason I want to teach more people is so we can help connect the dots that haven't been connected yet. All right, Truth Seeker, I think we got it all in here. Shawn Porter, I like over Keith Thurman. It looks like a birthday present for him or an early birthday present for the upcoming championship. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.